How's it going? That might have been the wrong button. Let me check. Yep, that was definitely the wrong button. I wanted that one. I wanted that button. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a good night. Now, if you came and tried to hang out last night, I want to apologize because I went to go stream and then the computer locked up, and then I did a little bit of googling, a little bit of researching, and the what I found was that my power supply and or motherboard was failing. So that's what I get for buying I buy power. I didn't buy power. I bought it twice. Oh, but again, as I said, I hope everybody's having a good time. We're going to be playing some Microsoft Flight Sim in career mode. Hopefully, I can finally get enough to repair my airplane in Microsoft Flight Sim. I attempted to take off, and yeah, it just didn't work. It did not work. So we're gonna see what we can do about getting enough to get the airplane back up and going. Um, hopefully, I don't know. Let me know if y'all got any questions. As I said, airline pilot. I don't know. We're we're seeing what we can do with this. I hope everything is working on all the different platforms. I am trying to use Restream, and so far it seems to be working. So far it does seem to be working. Um, I hope the music isn't too loud. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if it's too loud, too quiet. But how's everybody doing tonight? What's up, Dusty Springfield Cat? How is your night going? Hopefully it's going good. I'm only going to be on here for a couple hours tonight. We're going to play some, as I said, we're going to play some Microsoft Flight Sim in career mode. And I don't know, we'll probably be on, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 hours. I gotta go run some errands later tonight. But anybody got any questions? As I've always said, airline pilot, flight instructor. So questions about airlines, question about learning how to fly, really just questions in general. Let me see. That doesn't seem to be working. Let's go ahead and settings. Refresh when it becomes active. Refresh currently. Any advice for my check ride this week? Private pilot. So if it's this week, I mean, you're coming up on the end of it. What I'd say is, go take another flight or so. Knocks any kind of rust that might have built up. Get some landings. Make sure you have your memory items down. When I say memory items, I'm talking about emergencies. I'm talking about your V speeds. Make sure you understand the systems in your airplane. Make sure you understand the equipment in your airplane. So many people gets their check ride, and then when you ask them to do something weird, with their instruments, they're like, I've never done that. I don't even know what that is. So just brush up on, read the manual, read the POH, read your avionics manual. But I mean, if it's this week, when it comes to just basic flying, knowledge, when it comes to airplane flying handbook, when it comes to the pilot's handbook of aeronautical knowledge, all that stuff should be pretty good by now. So just refresh your POH, refresh any kind of systems manuals, and you should be good to go. Now, got a 95% on your instrument written on Friday. That is awesome. Congratulations. 95% on an instrument written is pretty solid. It's pretty solid. About 118 hours. It's on Tuesday. What about passenger briefings or things of that nature? When it comes to a passenger briefing, I usually use the safety acronyms. So seatbelts, air vents, fire extinguisher, emergency exits, talking, and your questions, right? So seatbelts, how do we use them? When it comes to another pilot, I always start my safety briefing with, are you familiar with the safety equipment in this aircraft? Right? If they say yes, I'm like, all right, okay. If I've never flown with them, I'm still going to give them a safety briefing. So, seatbelts, this is how you operate the seatbelts. You pull up on this lever, you slide back, you slide forward. The seatbelts are right here. You insert the buckle into the tab to release the seatbelt. You press the red button, and to tighten and loosen, pull up on the straps, pull down on the straps, blah, blah, blah. Air vents, they're to your left and right. Twist left to open, twist right to close. If I tell you to close them, then close them. If I tell you to open them, then open them. The fire extinguisher is underneath your seat. If a fire does happen to break out, given that I'm the only one that knows how to fly the airplane, you're going to fight the fire. I'm going to fly the airplane. The emergency exits, they're the same doors that you came in. If for some reason that you're not able to get the door open, you can kick the window until it pops out of the airplane. There is no talking during critical phases of flight. Things like taxi, takeoff, landing, operations below 3,000 feet, other than cruise or any emergencies. What are your questions? All right, that is my safety briefing. How difficult was the commercial multi add-on? So UND does their commercial multi stuff a little differently, a little weird. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I wasn't too concerned. Multi, you get it. I got my multi in about 17 hours in the Seminole. My commercial, we did it with the TAA, the technologically advanced aircraft. So there wasn't really much going on there. Right. Do you think I should take Spirit Airlines? I don't have any problem with Spirit Airlines. I mean, they don't seem to be shutting the doors anytime soon, so I wouldn't be afraid of like buying, a round trip ticket on Spirit. Now, I mean, if you're gonna fly to like India and stay there for a month, maybe don't. Well, I don't think Spirit flies on India or flies to India. Like if you're trying to go somewhere with a round trip ticket with like more than a month gap between your departure and your return, I don't think I'd book Spirit. But if you're going somewhere for like a week, then I don't think it would be a big deal. The course I'm using is 1 day train, the next day check ride, about 6 hours in a Baron. Yeah, I've never been too big of a fan of taking that approach. If you could get the training done in an accelerated fashion, you'll get the training done in an accelerated fashion. Doing a course that's purely geared towards an accelerated fashion, I feel like that leaves way too much up for, that leaves a lot for concern, right? Because all we're trying to do is get you qualified in 6 hours. We're not trying to make sure that you're going to be safe. And and that's just my 2 cents on that. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? What I am noticing is that Restream doesn't really do a very good job of bringing in the TikTok chat. So what I think I'm going to do, let's go copy. Let's go browser, TikTok chat. There's that. We'll go 300 and see what that does. That doesn't work. Allow. Yeah, that didn't work at all. Yeah, I should have known that wasn't going to work. Yes, I want to remove TikTok chat. I feel like it's most cost effective rather than paying $500 an hour drive for multi. And sure, cost effective. And, if you're never really going to rent a multi, you're never going to buy a multi-engine aircraft. I get it. I get it. Just trying to check the box so that you can move on. Like I get that. I know there's a flight school up here in Wisconsin that does tailwheel ratings, and they're kind of famous. Let's see. I forget the name of it. But it is like where everyone stops on their way to Oshkosh. Is it Lakeshore Aviation? Wisconsin Aviation? That's what it sounds like. Oh, come on. Sim screen, settings. There we go. So yeah, I mean, tailwheel endorsement right here for pricing and info. I think this is the place that everyone goes to. This is that really famous place that everybody goes to. I don't have my tailwheel endorsement, but I am back on the line flying. I just have been on reserve. My next schedule, my schedule next month is actually pretty goddamn solid. I work 8 days next month. As for commercial pilot mock check rides, if nobody books them, then You know what I mean? Like if nobody books them, I don't have anything to post. That's why I've been putting out multi-engine content, because if nobody books them, there's nothing to post. But is anybody who's all going down to Sun and Fun? Who's all going down to Sun and Fun? I know I'm going down. I'm going to be flying down. I'm departing here, Wisconsin. I'm going to be departing Wisconsin on the 29th. Then I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to depart Chicago on the 30th. And, you know, depending on how I feel, we might push on through the 30th and get all the way to Lakeland. I don't know if that's really going to happen. Like, I feel like I'd have to leave Chicago at like 6 o'clock in the morning to really make that happen. So I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to leave Chicago, camp somewhere on the 30th, and then make it to Lakeland on the 31st. So that's the plan. And then we're going to be in Lakeland for the 1st through the 6th, right? The Baron I'm flying has 2 Continental IO 520s with 285 horsepower apiece. That is a lot. Holy shit. That is, what's this sound effect? Oh, that's not the sound effect I want. Yeah, that's actually a really big jump, because I mean, most people, they're doing their training in like a Cessna 172 SP with 180 horsepower. So I mean, that's a 105 horsepower jump per side. So I mean, that's technically 210 horsepower jump. But I mean, just keep that in mind, right? I posted that video talking about critical engine. I'm working on a VMC video, but just keep VMC in mind. I know when I teach multi-engine, I actually hook my foot underneath the rudder, so that the student can't go full deflection on the rudder, so that I always have something I can give to get this airplane back under control in the event that the student gets close to a VMC or gets close to a stall, right? So to restate what I said, right? When we're practicing VMC as an instructor, I am putting my foot under the rudder pedal and making sure that I only give the student about 80% travel on that rudder, so that when they notice that VMC, and they do the wrong thing, I've still got another 20% of rudder that I can turn around and give it, to try and get this aircraft back under control before they stall and spin and kill me. That's really the last thing I want. I don't want to die. So just keep that in mind when you're training in something so high performance, Ivan. Now, if you are here, make sure you drop some likes. If you haven't followed already, please do so. Thanks for that follow. Jacob followed. Thanks for that follow, Jacob. But if you are here, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to help support the channel without actually without any monetary value, you could head on over to YouTube, and YouTube, I get ad revenue on YouTube. So, it really does help out the channel if you just head on over to YouTube. It's really the exact same video. It's the exact same stuff. It's just on YouTube, and I get ad revenue. If you are looking for a simulator, there's Next Level Racing is really they cheese 24 for 5% off. I am a saint, bro. What makes me a saint? Why are we saying all that, Gavin? I mean, I appreciate it. It's very sweet. But what's up? And I think while we wait on Gavin to explain to me why he thinks I'm a saint, I think we are going to hop into Microsoft Flight Sim. So here we are, boop, Sim Station. Hi back there. I hope you can see. I am going to Sun and Fun. Yes, I am going to Sun and Fun. Getting you through your private pilot. Well, that's awesome. Good luck on your private pilot. Good luck. But yeah, as I said, Ivan, I'm not sure the whole delay on this one at this point in time. I'm not sure how big of a delay there is between what I'm saying and what y'all are getting. I am going to Sun and Fun. The plan, let's actually go into free flight just so y'all can kind of see my plan. So obviously we're not going to be doing it in an albatross. We'll just, you know, have an icon just to. So we're going from. That's a little annoying that those stay. Okay, there we go. Okay, what the fuck? There we go. So this is the journey between Sun and Fun and Lakeland. Can I edit the map? No. Okay, so I'm gonna be going like right around there. Add, and then we're gonna come down. We might make a little stop like here. Another little stop. I want to avoid the mountains and Atlanta, so we're probably gonna make a stop in like Huntsville. Add. Then maybe go here. And then as we continue on, there's a seaplane base right there. Maybe we'll make a stop right there. And then there is another little airport up here that I am supposed to. Okay, so then we need to go over there. And that's kind of where the arrival starts. So this is the whole journey. This is the whole journey. So my plane burns about 10 an hour. I can get it down to like 8.9. So I mean, it's a lot. Yeah. So my plane burns about 10 an hour, which is average for airplanes of that size. And I do about $1.05. I do about $1.05. We might actually be able to. Oh yeah, let me go to ForeFlight Web. Let's go to ForeFlight Web. And I might be able to just show y'all my route. Log in. Let's pull this off screen so that y'all don't see all my stuff. All right, flights. No, map. Flight plan. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. We got ForeFlight pulled up. So we're going KSU, KLAL. Actually, what we're gonna do is go KGRB, KLAL, routes. Do airlines use ForeFlight? No, airlines do not use ForeFlight. It is not approved for airline use. Yeah, so airlines don't use ForeFlight. It's not 121. The 121 carriers, so airlines, can't use ForeFlight. It's really just not an approved source for material. I don't know why. I don't know what makes ForeFlight not worthy of airline usage, but they use JEP charts. They use Flight Deck Pro, which, funny enough, ForeFlight is now owned by Flight Deck Pro. So, yeah. So it says fuel. Let's see. Let's put this. I think we're going to go up to like 7,500 for this. So yeah, it's showing 96 gallons. Oh, and at 5 gallons an hour, or sorry, $6 a gallon. So 96 times 6. Yeah. So times 2 for both ways. Yeah, $1,200 in gas. Yeah, it's probably going to be 2-3 days for the trip. Is kind of the plan, 2 or 3 days. Day 1 is really going to be down here to Chicago because I'm picking up a photographer, a camera operator that's coming with me to make videos and content for Sun and Fun to try and recoup some of this cost. and then we're going to push on down, and we're probably either going to stop somewhere around here, somewhere around here. I have a route, but it didn't get saved in here, so whatever. Trip assistant, get trip assistant. Oh, that's stupid. No, we're not doing that map. So yeah, I'm planning for like 2 or 3 days for it. And that's kind of the route. Let's look at what the winds might be. Take it on down to 6,000. Looks like, yeah, 10, 18 knot tailwind. Does it get better at 9,000? It gets better at 9,000. So we using ForeFlight for a game? Shit. Nope, we're not using it. I'm talking about my route down to Sun and Fun. I'm talking about my route down to Sun and Fun. During my time building, me and the boys would fly around Charlotte, North Carolina to Perry, Florida. Oh, well, I mean, that's fun. That's fun. But let's get into Microsoft Flight Sim. We're getting into career mode. We're trying to build up enough goddamn money so that I can repair my airplane, because we crashed it a little while ago. We crashed it last time we streamed. Yeah, I mean, so there are times that I'll pull out ForeFlight, just because it's better, right? So I'll use ForeFlight instead of the built-in navigation stuff, because it's better, and I can link it. Like if I have my iPad, I can link it and y'all can see my iPad and stuff. But I'm not doing that right now. So here we are, airplane, manage aircraft. The aircraft is still broken, so flight controls, we need 112, 122, and we have a whopping fucking 0. We have a whopping 0. So let's go get some money, I guess. Let's go try and make some money. What do we got? We got a banner towing gig. What we're gonna do? Let's go and okay. So we have a $9,900 job. It says it's gonna take an hour and a half. Let's see how it goes. Accept the mission. I live in Florida. You should just skip it. What do you mean? Why should I just skip Florida? Oh, skip Sun and Fun? No, actually, Sun and Fun, like the actual event, invited me down. So it's not really a skipping kind of thing. But I mean, I have fun in Sun and Fun. I went down last year, or the year before last, and I had an absolute blast. So I'm hoping to do the same thing this year. Sun and Fun invited me down. Micro Air wants me to talk to them, and they wanna put some stuff in my airplane. So that's kind of exciting. There's reasons, right? Content for the content. All right, let's hop into this airplane. Yeah, we're just gonna straight skip that. There's absolutely no reason we need to be doing any of that. But as I said, if you want to help support the channel and you want to help support my journey down to Sun and Fun, you can do that by hopping on over to YouTube, because I get ad revenue over there. I would like to see you do a proper walk around. Okay, sure. Like next flight, next mission, we'll do a walk around. All right. Next mission, we'll actually do a walk around. I've never gotten to an airplane in Microsoft Flight Sim that needed a walk around. But let's come on, Microsoft. I don't know why we're struggling right now. Now, I see that there's a couple people here. Hit that screen, smack that screen, drop some likes, get some more people showing up, get some more people hanging out. The more people that show up, the more people that hang out, the more interesting and more fun this streams are. You know, the less people that are here, the less engaging that it is. But all of y'all that are here, I do appreciate it. It's always a blast hanging out with y'all. I'm trying to ramble on enough so that this doesn't seem like an extremely long loading screen, but for some reason, Microsoft Flight Sim is having a rough time with its loading screen. Come on, Microsoft. If Microsoft doesn't load, then I don't know. Maybe we'll just go play some. I do have Elite Dangerous installed on my computer. Maybe we could use our flight controls in Elite Dangerous. Do some space tourism. Do some space tourism instead of this mission. What the fuck is taking so long, Microsoft? Like, look at this. It's still loading. Still loading. Still loading. Yeah, the black screen isn't helping. I know. It's a little rough. I don't know what's going on with Microsoft Flight Sim. Do dee do 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 dee do 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 do. You know what? I have a button that does that plays that sound, but I got demonetized the last time I pressed that button. I was just up your way today, kinda, sorta. Pearson Pickerel. I've never heard of that place. Where's that? What's the identifier for that one? We can look at it on 4Flight. There we go. Microsoft Flight Sim is doing something. North of Antigo. Is your company hiring off the street through their pathway programs? I don't think my company has a pathway program. I could be wrong though. And I know they are hiring off the street, like CFIs and stuff, because, well, they just couldn't get anyone else to apply, given that their first year pay is, for heaven's sakes, it should be criminal. Like, you know, price of eggs being $6 a fucking dozen. Ain't no reason that an airline pilot flying an A320 should be making $48,000 a year, whether it be first year or not. What's up? I've been watching Private Pilot check rides. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Remember, if you're getting signed off for your check ride, your instructor believes in you. Your instructor, to be honest, probably doesn't really care about you on a personal level. They care about their pass rate. So just keep that in mind. What is going on with Microsoft Flight Sim? New hires going on the 7.3? I think so. I think a lot of them are going on the 7.3. You know what? Let's Alt F4 this shit, and I'll see about getting it booted back up. Unless we want to play. My boy Cheese Pilot got my private pilot this Wednesday. Been watching all your vids. Been super helpful. Well, that is awesome. That is awesome. And good luck on your check ride. Good luck on your check ride. Again, you're gonna do great. All right. Remember, your instructor has already signed you off. Your instructor doesn't care about you on a personal level. They care about their pass rate. If you are going to negatively impact their pass rate, they wouldn't sign you off. Does that make sense? So we're booting Microsoft Flight Sim back up, and hopefully it works this time. I don't know what happened. I must say, you've been a massive help. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't hesitate to share the videos with your other people in your flight school or anybody else that's, you know, interested in flight training. That really helps the channel. You ain't got to buy no merch or nothing like that. Just share the videos, right? Just share the videos on YouTube. I don't give a shit if you share them on TikTok. I know TikTok doesn't really support anything. I joke, TikTok. I joke. Thank you so much for that like. Thank you so much, Castile. Thank you. All right. Come on. So there we go. Microsoft Flight Sim has booted back up. Let's go back into the career and see how this goes. I think maybe we need to. I might just drop the resolution down. What we're gonna do? Let's go settings. We're just gonna. I'm just gonna drop the resolution from 2560 down to 1920 by 1080. And given that y'all are probably all watching this on your phone anyway, you can't tell the difference. But my computer can. There we go. Missions. Let's see if that 9,000. Yep, that $9,000 mission is still available. We need to do like 12 of these. Like 12, or actually we need to do like 25 of these missions, of these $10,000 ones. Hopefully our rank and stuff can just get up high enough so that we can just get better missions. But it's a banner towing mission. Get the game audio up just a little bit so that I can hear it. Mixers forward, gears down. All right, I'm happy with that. But anybody else prepping for a check ride? Anybody else prepping for a check ride training event? Everybody who's watching, drop in the chat. Drop in the chat like where you're at in your training. Whether you want to be a pilot, whether you're training to be a pilot, whether you don't want to be a pilot and you just enjoy video games. You know, what's up? What's up, everybody? Day 20 of my type. 9 more days to go. Get me out. Well, what type are you working on, Wyatt? What type? I know those type ratings. They're rough. They're rough. I've gotten 3 of them. And I you know, even the recurrent training, I'm just like, what are we doing here? All right. Somebody was looking for a walk around. Let's do a walk around now. We're just going to do a little wrap around. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the chocks. All right. Let's check the tire pressure. No, that didn't do anything. Okay. I have never once in my goddamn life ever seen a static cover. But I have seen pitot covers. And we need to remove the engine cowl. All right. So let's go Shift C, get in the airplane. All right. Now wait for engine startup. Engine started. Let's contact ground. Big contest at Miami Beach Fair tomorrow. All right. All right. I guess this is what we're doing. Close to your private pilot check ride. In 1 month. What is going on in 1 month, Henry? And Prater 600. What is a Prater 600? All right. That's the plan. Yeah, sure. Let's spread some good vibes. Looks like those avionics buttons didn't work. Then we're going to release our parking brake, keep our foot brakes, and there we go. All right, waiting for our taxi clearance. What? I have no idea what that taxi clearance was, but I guess we'll read it back. Who's are looking to do commercial? What is so the commercial's pretty straightforward. If you're looking for commercial, really just know your commercial regulations and know the systems of your airplane. Beyond that, it's a really straightforward rating. But as I've said, like the only way I'm going to post a commercial, mock check ride is if people book them, right? If nobody's booking them, I can't post them, right? Are NetJets and FlexJet hiring? I'm not too sure. I believe so. I believe they are hiring. There we go. I like that view more. I guess we've already been cleared to cross this runway. All right. There. But when it comes to commercial, think of where a lot of students get nervous when it comes to commercial is they think they are the ones applying for the operator certificate. You are not the one applying for an operator certificate. When it comes to commercial regulations, if you are going to transport somebody from point A to point B for compensation, or if you are going to transport cargo from point A to point B for compensation, it requires an operator certificate under Part 119. All right. What type of operator certificate depends on what type of services you're offering. Is it scheduled or unscheduled? If it's unscheduled, then it's a charter. Then it falls under 135. If it's scheduled, then it's an airline. Then it's a scheduled operator. Then it falls under 121. Now, is it open to the public? If it's open to the public and the public sees ads and the public can buy seats or can buy space on this aircraft for cargo, then it's open. Then it's open carriage or public carriage. Yeah. If the public can't get a ticket on it, right? If it's only a select few people, like the owners of the aircraft or a couple companies or people that have a contract, then it's going to be private carriage. And I mean, I'm just going to be honest, man. The prices are pretty solid. I'm pretty busy, so I'm pretty busy already. Yeah, the Pilot Cafe for sure is a great resource, Jose. Now let's request our takeoff clearance. All right. Awesome. Runway 10 right, you mean? I hate that Microsoft Flight Sim does that. All right, let's go flaps 1 for this takeoff. Because we're also gonna swing it back around and pick up a banner. So I don't really need to go that fast, but I'm more concerned about altitude. Oh, come on. There we go. There's runway 10. Get on the center line. Airspeed's alive. Engine instruments are in the green. We're up, and we're just going to climb out at VX. There's no reason for us to be going any faster than VX because, again, we're just trying to stay close to the field and swing it back around to pick up a banner. Or am I picking up I might be picking up a banner. Yeah, banner approach is over there. Where is the banner pickup? All right. Where is the banner? I don't see the banner, but we're just going to swing it back around here and then cut the power, whip it on down, and go. NetJet and FlexJet are always hiring. Currently at FlexJet, they raised their mins not long ago. But yes, I do still do mock check rides. Beans, Ida, I do still do mock check rides. Just a lot of people haven't scheduled them, and for a while there, I was really busy. I was really busy with my own training. So power's idle, keeping the airspeed low. Ooh, oversped the flaps. All right, we might need to do a little wrap around. Thanks for all your mock instrument check rides. I just did my last rating last week. Oh, well, that is awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations, Eric. Wrong one. Congratulations, Eric. What maneuver are you doing? I am swinging around to pick up a banner for banner towing. And I just wanted to do it faster than what the game like has you do it. All right, a little bit more drag, all the drag, and we'll just bring this in kind of like slow flight. And we got the banner. Retract 1, retract 2. All right. Let's get this nose up. A little bit more trim. There we go. That should have us accelerate to VY. And you know what? We're just gonna skip on to the actual tow site. No need for us to sit around and cruise. To memorize weather for your PPL, do you have any recommended study tips? What do you mean by memorize weather? Like what are you trying to memorize? Because like, can you read the material? Like there's not a single thing that you'll be given that doesn't have a key, right? I did drop the hook. You can see it. Oh, yeah. See, there's my hook. All right. What the hell? What is this? What kind of banner towing mission is this? Am I supposed to go this way? Okay, this is unflyable. Like which ones of these am I supposed to be going through? What is this? What is this? Is it that one? Is it this one? Is it that? Like, which one of these am I supposed to be going to? Okay, I've got something on my map now. Can I engage the autopilot? Okay, yeah, it seems like, what is that fix? 16? Okay, so I need to scroll for 17. Shit. So direct to flight plan. Oh, I'm all fucked up. I'm all fucked up. Direct, enter. There we go. That gives me at least close to something. Now I think we might be able to go nav, altitude. We'll go L 600 and autopilot on. Okay, but like you gave me this absolutely ridiculous route. Like there was absolutely no way in ever loving hell that I was ever going to be able to accomplish this. Where are you going? Okay, maybe. All right, autopilot's off. Let's go find our. Let's go find our route. Oh my God, yeah, I'm not going to make any money on this. I'm not going to make any money on this. What I do need to do, settings, because it's actually making me kind of nauseous. Toby, hardware settings. No. Escape, go back. Toby. Settings. No, it's not going to let me do anything. Okay, maybe we need to come over here. Yes, I do fly in real life. I am an airline pilot. I have my own airplane. All right, eye tracking responsiveness, center stabilization. There we go. Okay, maybe let's turn the eye tracking responsiveness down because that was rough. Okay, much better. I'm a controller. What's your biggest pet peeves with stuff we can improve on? Going down and slowing down isn't really it's not really an option. We can either go down or slow down. A lot of times going down and slowing down doesn't really work. That's really one of my biggest pet peeves is when controllers are like, hey, slow to 280 and descend to, 10,000 feet. Slam dunking us in is another big one that kind of bothers me. Like I'm sitting here, like we know that we're behind. We know that we need to go down, and then when we can't get that clearance to go down like we should, it really makes it hard for us to plan. It kind of throws a lot of wrenches into our plan. it kind of throws a lot of wrenches into our plan. Oh, save. Resume. What the fuck? This eye tracker is just... All right, reset to default. Head auto center, yes. Head position sensitivity, eye tracking responsiveness. We're just going to turn that all the way down because, like, I don't know what's going on with that eye tracking. All right, let's skip on back. In real life, if you have your PPL, what do you need to be able to get? Well, you can't get hired to do anything. What you call it? So with a private pilot's license, you cannot get a job banner towing. Like, you can't be paid to tow. You can't be paid to do anything as a private pilot. You can be reimbursed for some of your expenses for doing certain things. Yeah, see, so I got responsiveness turned down, but it's still... maybe you gotta reset the game for it to actually work. Yeah, I might end up undoing it because it's definitely a struggle right now. Let me see. Can we just come in here and go settings? Toby experience, improve calibration. No. Home. Yeah, I'm trying to just turn off the eye tracking because that's kind of my problem. Is like I don't want... Try turning center stabilization up so it's not as sensitive. Center stabilization. Okay, let's try that. All right, now we got to go drop the banner. Let's go drop the banner. Yeah, so the settings in Microsoft Flight Sim don't do anything. So controls, eye tracking reset. That's all you get. Oh, but what I could do is tracking, toggle head tracking. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this. Control. Oh, fucking keyboard. Yeah, we'll just turn it off at this point. All right, so Alt F7. Alt F8. PC specs. 1 second. 1 second. This shit is getting ridiculous. Oh, it's 8, not F. All right, so Alt 7. So PC specs, it's a 4070, a couple NVMEs, 64 gigs of RAM, Alt 7. No? Alt 8. Alt 7? Alt 7. No, that resets it. Alt 8. Yeah, I'm just going to have to unplug this shit. Because this is bad. This is bad. The eye trackers is really it's making me nauseous. Like it's worse than VR. We need to slow this thing down. Yeah, the new Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is still ass. Yeah, the eye tracking in 2024 is if it's just me, like I'm not trying to stream, I guess it's not that bad, but when I'm trying to stream and looking over at the chat and everything, it's fucking everything up. So we're slowing down. No more than 30 degrees in the pattern? Sure. Why not? Currently have my commercial pilot. How many hours did it take you to get your single engine C add-on? So you can go down to like Jack Brown's and get your single engine C add-on for like, I think it's like $1,800. I did mine in my airplane at something like $500 an hour. Or it was like 200 and something dollars an hour for the instructor, and then my airplane cost. So mine cost me a lot. Mine cost me a lot of fucking money. All right. Banner. Wait for it. And drop. There we go. Get rid of some of those flaps. Get rid of that pole. Get rid of another notch of flaps. And we got to climb to 250 feet before it'll give us our next little marker. All right, so climb to 250, and then final is right behind us. So let's let some airspeed build up in this thing and whip it on around. Yeah, if I could just have head tracking, I feel like this wouldn't be that bad. But it's that damn eye tracking that makes it pretty much unusable. All right, so there's final over there. Yeah, and I mean, it's not just $200 an hour for a water CFI or a seaplane CFI. What a lot of it is it's such a unique airplane. Like now that I've learned in the airplane and now I can teach in it, I'm one of like 20 instructors in the States that legally can teach in that airplane. All right, so it wants me on that perpendicular runway. Cross control stall? What do you mean cross control stall? I'm fine. My controls were a little cross controlled, but I was maintaining coordination. Maintaining coordination is, I don't know. I know I struggle with the fact that it's a simulator, and I'm not as, there's definitely risks that I'm taking in the sim that I wouldn't be taking in real life. Flaps. What's up, new villain? Yeah, I think after we fly this mission, I'm definitely just going to turn off the Toby stuff. Like that's just not working for me. Like these little times, it's nice because like I can get a better view of the runway and it makes it a little easier to land. But I don't know. All right. Let's get this music up for this landing. What do y'all think? Is it going to be a good landing or a bad landing? Given that the game is trying to point me like way down the runway, I feel like that would be a really bad landing. So let's aim for the piano keys. Reducing power. Who needs fucking center line, right? There's the mains. Applying some brakes. Okay, I guess we're going to hold short here. I don't know why it wanted me over there and then said hold short here, but sure, we're going to come up and hold short here. All right. Now let's request a clearance to purely clear a runway. This is ridiculous. I watched all of your mock orals. I've watched every single one in your channel. My check ride's Wednesday. Well, good luck. Good luck. The most unrealistic thing is banner towing in a G1000. Oh God. That's exactly it. That is the most unrealistic part about all of this. That was aggressive for a Cessna. Yeah, well, to be honest, the Cessna is a really forgiving airplane. That's why I'm not I'm not nice to Cessnas. They are so forgiving. The thousands of hours of instruction I've gotten in 172s, it's just like they are such a forgiving aircraft. But how's the airline life going? Great. I haven't worked since IOE. And next month, all I work is 8 days. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still only making $3,000 a month take home. But, I mean, at least I don't have to work a lot for that shit pay. And here we are. Avionics off. Mixtures out. Set the parking brake. And masters off. I can't wait. CFI life is brutal. To be honest, I miss being a CFI. I miss being a flight instructor. I had so much fun as a flight instructor. All right, pass execution quality 69%. Giggity, fucking giggity. Now let's turn this fucking Toby thing off. All right, we just need to turn this off. Because that, to be honest, I'm a little fucking nauseous after all of that. That was rough. That was a rough experience. So we only made $7,000 off of that. Let's see if we got any more missions. Anything? There's a $6,000 one. Here's an $8,000 one. Want to trade spots? No, I mean, to be honest, I do still teach. All right, I guess it's a little different for me. So here's the thing. I taught at UND. I taught at a big flight school. So I was always busy. I always had work. I never wanted for money. Like it was good, right? But I've also taught like Part 61, freelance, and all that other jazz. And I could definitely see how that could suck. Never knowing when your next, what your next paycheck's going to be, never knowing if the student's actually going to show up. There's so much else that goes into like teaching Part 61. I could definitely see how that would be a stressful experience. I could definitely get that. Because I taught a little bit Part 61, and it was weird because they tried to treat me like I was just, somebody there to build hours. And I'm just like, no. I enjoy teaching. And they're like, okay, well, we still want you to clean our airplanes after every flight. It was like, if you want someone to detail your airplanes after every flight, hire an aircraft detailer. They're like, well, all the other instructors do that. I was like, yeah, well, all the other instructors are here for hours. They view the hours as compensation. I'm here because I'm qualified and I enjoy what I do. You're going to struggle to find another CFI. How can you freelance CFI without owning an airplane? Teach in theirs. You teach people in their own airplane. There's student pilots that buy airplanes. I have to teach crosswind takeoffs and landings for my CFI check ride next month. Well, good luck. You got any questions? Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, is it worth it right now? I don't know. I get it through Game Pass, so I don't really pay for it, I guess. I'm in Florida working with UND rivals. What do you mean UND rivals? 80s party at Naples Beach Club. Let's go. Let's go. What do my other buttons do? Okay, well, what is this? Oh, it's the flight attendants. All right. Shit. This is a more realistic This is a more realistic banner tower. I mean, even with the Garmin, GPS, that's still a little like, is that like, come on, like let's be honest. Release the brakes, announce taxi. Oh, Riddle. Let's be honest. Riddle is not come on. Riddle is not a rival to UND. I have taught a lot of Riddle students. I've worked with a lot of Riddle students. They are not a rival. That's like saying that like Whataburger is a rival to like McDonald's, or like sure, they're both fast food restaurants, but the sheer volume of what McDonald's does absolutely decimates anything Whataburger could hope to do. I'm doing my private pilot check ride April 3rd. Well, you got any questions? You're at a Part 61 school, New Villain. All right. Well, how is it? Do you like being as part of a Part 61 school? Would you rather, go to a 141 program? I really liked the collegiate program. The only reason I really liked teaching as part of a collegiate program. Holy shit. God damn. Off-roading in a Cessna. Woo, doggy. Let's go. The fuck is this? Yeah, the reason I really liked teaching as part of a 141 school, like the collegiate program, is the students would fail if they didn't, if they didn't work, right? If they didn't show up, they got a failing grade. When it comes to a Part 61 school, what I notice is a lot of people, they eventually just give up, but they don't tell their instructor, or they just no-show the instructor, right? And then they just stop showing up because they don't want to pay the no-show fee. Yeah, I saw the taxi markers were floating. Yeah. So for that person who was asking, is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 worth it yet? I don't know. What do you think? The only thing that's been difficult for me is holding heading on power on stalls. So what's probably happening is your turn coordinator, your turn coordinator is installed a little fucking crooked. Your turn coordinator is installed a little fucking crooked. So a lot of students, they're staring at that turn coordinator going, oh, I need more right rudder. I need more right rudder. But since that turn coordinator is installed a little crooked, the ball is a little off, right? So instead, figure out what it feels like to be coordinated. Figure out what too much right rudder feels like, not enough right rudder, too much left rudder, etc. And another thing you could do is put pressure on both rudder pedals so that instead of passing through center, you're applying rudder pressure. How was I able to get a six-pack? I don't know. A lot of abs, a lot of crunches, plank. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. That's just what it spawned with. I don't know why it decided to spawn with a six-pack. Enter runway 18. So it looks like we're going to be taking off runway 18. Let's go flaps down, full power. Seems like we might have a touch of a right crosswind. Airspeed's alive. There we go. We're up. A little bit of trim. A little more trim. A little more trim. More trim. More trim. More trim. More trim. Okay. A little less trim. Climbing up to 500 feet. Any tips on short field landings? Actually, pay attention. Hang out for a little while, and we'll do a short field landing when we come back in. A lot of people learn short field landings kind of the lazy way, which makes for really shitty short field landings. They get taught the really lazy way for short field landings, which is kind of safer, but like, let's be honest, we should be learning short field landings so that we could use them for short field landings. But it sucks when the plane needs maintenance. Like today, I have tomorrow and Tuesday scheduled for flight before Wednesday check ride. Hopefully weather is good and no maintenance issues. Yeah. I guess that is a lot of the problem with smaller mom and pop Part 61 schools, is just getting the aircraft, making sure that maintenance isn't in the way. Do a 360 overhead approach. That's kind of what we're doing. 45 hours and hundreds of landings later, I figured it out. All starts with the pattern. Where you use power in ground effect until you're over your point. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Yeah, that's the dumbest way. Like, that is the laziest way to do short field landings because it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. If you're in like a Cherokee 140, it can kind of work, but then you've still got energy in the wing. Unless you're riding on that stall horn with power in, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. And also, if there's any obstacles associated with that runway, you're going to end up running off the end of the runway. Drop a notch flaps. Any tips on how to teach trim to students? Yeah, force them to not use it. Force them to not use the trim. And then when their arm gets tired, tell them, okay, now that your arm is tired, relieve that pressure with the trim wheel. So, hey, look, you're holding it. The controls are heavy. The controls are heavy. The controls are heavy. This really sucks. The controls are heavy, aren't they? Now, you see how you're pulling back. That means you're trying to pull the nose up. So grab that trim wheel and push it down. It's like you're grabbing the tail of the airplane and pushing it down. So relieve that control wheel pressure. A lot of students struggle with using trim because they try to fly the airplane with it. They try to fly with trim. So instead, teach them to hold the airplane where they want it and then use trim to counteract the control pressures. Dang, we got a crosswind and it's a little bumpy. Woo, woo. All right. Let's get this banner. And we fucking missed. God damn it. What you call it? Sim so I can practice for check ride on Tuesday. Yeah, so here's the thing. Your 50-foot obstacle, I know technically the ACS doesn't have a 50-foot obstacle anymore for approaches, for short field approaches. I know they've gotten rid of that. But what you need to do when it comes to a short field landing is you need to have an aiming point and have your aiming point and your touchdown point be pretty much like within 5 feet of each other. Okay. So when you're coming in for an approach, you're eventually going to start reducing power. And as you reduce power, the nose is going to want to drop, right? Because it's trying to maintain that speed that you've trimmed for. So as you reduce that power, the nose wants to drop. We'll use that yoke, pick that nose up so that you can maintain that same approach angle all the way down so that by the time you get to your aiming point, the airplane is there. The airplane has stalled. That is an appropriate short field landing because then you can aim just past those trees, reduce power, and bring that damn thing down. And as soon as you're ready to land, and as soon as you're there, you're ready to land. The only problem is when you reduce power early. A lot of people reduce power way too high or way too quickly, and then they end up dropping. So let's come in for this banner approach with just a little bit more power than what we planned. So we're at full flaps now. Shit, I dropped my mouse. So here we are. We're coming in for this banner approach. at about 75-ish. Okay. So now I'm going to reduce power. Ah, fuck. It is just gusty up there. I am struggling. For check ride purposes for short field, sounds really obvious. Don't land short. Go around if you're going to be short. Yeah. That's a really good way to approach it. If you're going to be short, go around. Yeah, I am struggling with this one. I am struggling with this one bad. Let's see what we could accomplish. Let's bring it back around. There's a lot of turbulence coming off of those trees. And I mean, you can even see it right here. We're getting beat up pretty bad just sitting here. And the controls are actually pretty one for one for the airplane. Let's see if we can get the banner this time. It is kind of bumpy on this one. We'll come in for a longer approach so that maybe we'll be a little bit more stable by the time we get there. All right. So here we are. Little touch of trim. One notch of flaps. Help us slow this thing down. Okay. There we go. We're a bit more stable this time. Now let's come in for our banner approach. Spending so much gas on this one. Too fast. A little bit more trim then. Reduce some power. Okay. Lined up. On speed. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Ah ha! Come on. I guess I'm never going to be a banner tower in my aviation career because I'm obviously a struggle and a half at this. I am so sorry. I know there was somebody that was hoping for some short field landing practice, but we're having some trouble. We're having some technical difficulties here. Let's see if we can do this without flaps. I think the flaps are washing out our tail a little bit and we're losing some stability. So let's bring that power out, let the airplane slow down, and we're going to do this without flaps this time. And we're going to try to roll out lined up this time. Okay. Okay, let's go. Drop one notch so we don't stall. Oh. I don't I don't know how we're going to drop this thing. Three minutes and 30 seconds. What? Okay. I guess we're going to do a cruise climb at this point. Come on. We got this. We got this. Let's see if we can get a couple more ripums out of this thing by reducing some mixture. All right. Looks like that's our peak RPM right there. 80 knot cruise climb. Ooh, that's gonna be kind of tight. 3 minutes. Hopefully this turbulence calms down. Like that wasn't just me. All right. There's definitely turbulence. I need the next level racing freaking full motion pieces for this thing so I can actually experience the turbulence. Because that was rough. That was a rough experience. All right, maintaining that power in. Let's get this thing moving. Let's get this thing moving. And again, thank y'all so much for showing up. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Now, after this, I think what we're going to do is we're going to hop into just free flight and we're going to do some laps around the pattern just to show off some maneuvers, some soft field techniques, some short field techniques. Oh, my low fuel light just turned on. I mean, I still got 10 gallons per side. I feel I'm good. I'm good. All right. Let's take a look at our flight plan. And we'll go FPLN. Actually, let's go close the flight plan menu. So we're going flight plan position. Fuck, who knows? That's a weird way of doing it. All right, I got nothing. I was trying real hard to figure that out so that I could maybe just turn the autopilot on, but oh yeah, so short field power on stalls. That's what we're gonna work on. We're gonna after this mission, we're gonna hop into just some free flight and just work on some maneuvers, show some methods that I teach with my students. I guess we could bring that power back just a smidgen so I'm not right up against red line because we are late. Thanks for those likes, Christian. Thanks for those likes, Christian. Anybody else got any other questions? After this mission, we're going to go do some maneuvers. Don't ask me to do lazy eights. Just like your flight instructor, we can't do them either. All right, we got that power in, doing 120 knots. Once we get to this point, we're going to have to slow down real fast. All right, I think it's about time. Let's bring that power out. Trim, trim, Trim below 110, flaps 10. All right. Bring that power back into about 1900-ish. Altitude 600, way too high. Let's bring that power out so we can go down and slow down. Now I just wonder, like, is Microsoft asking me to do AGL or MSL? I can never tell. Fast starts in half a mile. Just passed my private pilot check rides. Well, congratulations, Cam. Oh, wrong button. That is awesome. Congratulations, Cam. All right. What the fuck? So if you're curious about Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, it's stuff like this where you're like, okay, what do you want from me? Do I go? I guess I go over here. Gonna start instrument next week. Any tips? Yes. Focus on your just primary instrument skills. Don't jump straight into maneuvers. Don't jump straight into procedures. Just focus on climb 500 feet per minute, descend 500 feet per minute, maintain standard rate turn for 360 degrees, climb at 500 feet per minute while descending, or climb at 500 feet per minute while making a left 180 degree turn. Like, it's those basic instrument flying skills that are going to set you up. It's not, oh, can I do a VOR approach? Oh, can I do an ILS? It's, well, can you maintain an airspeed? Like, if I told you slow to 80 knots, can you maintain that under the hood? Those are the things that are really going to get you. Okay. So focus on those skills, and the rest of it is just going to come like second nature, because the last thing you want to do is starting to worry about, okay, am I holding, like starting to try and do math for a hold or an DME arc or something like that. While you're still trying to figure out what the hell these instruments are telling you. By the time you get to procedures, you should be able to look at your instruments and know exactly where you are. Does that make sense? The people who struggle with instruments are the ones that try to jump straight into maneuvers. All right, we can go a little faster with this. All we got to do is maintain below 72 knots. So we can take it up to 70. Get this done just a little bit sooner. Especially because I'm fucking hungry. Like, I'm actually really hungry right now. Okay. Great questions, though. Great questions. Great questions. Little bit more to go. Only 0.8 miles. Not really sure what they want me to do here. Like, am I doing a little loop-de-loop? I think that's what I'm doing. A little loop. Do a little wraparound. Oh, I guess maybe it wants me to go that way. All right, let's skip to pattern entry. Study like crazy, take it serious. Some of the most valuable flight training. Yes, that is so true. That is so true. When it comes to instrument, instrument really opens up the world, right? Instrument really opens up the world of aviation. Because you're no longer stuck on the ground when there's clouds. But you got to focus on it. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Instrument is where a lot of people get hurt. But the person over on YouTube, this is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and I've got some extra controls, as you can see. Drop approach is over there. All right. Power's out. Cheese is a fellow CFI man. You're great. By the way, I use your mock orals for your mocks for my students. Well, that is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing the content. Thank you so much for sharing it and being a good flight instructor. That's one thing that I see all too common: a flight instructor that refuses to use outside sources, material, other instructors, because they think that that if they can't teach all on their own, they're not a real flight instructor, which obviously isn't the case. Use the sources that are available. Too fast. All right. This one is probably going to suck. This one's going to suck. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Because it is just gusty and nasty. I know that windsock is a dirty liar. That windsock is just a straight dirty liar. All right, hold, drop, pull up the hook. Oh, fuck off. I did my best. Got my check ride next month. Any tips? Yeah, study. Make sure you know your memory items. Make sure you know your flows, any kind of profiles that are associated with your school, emergencies, V speeds. Read your damn POH. The amount of students that don't read their POH, it's genuinely concerning. Read your POH. If you're struggling to read your 200, 300 page Cessna POH, the airlines are going to be a rude awakening, because an Airbus POH is like 6,000 pages. A 737 POH is like 4,500 pages. So read your POH. That's where 90% of the answers are going to come from, because as a check pilot, or as when a DPE is evaluating you, they need to make sure that you're going to not only be safe out there by checking your maneuvers, but they want to make sure that they're signing you off to say you can go buy an airplane, read the manual, and fly it. So if I ask you questions that are straight out of your POH and you don't know them, that's showing me that you couldn't be bothered to crack open your POH. What do I say to get them to study at home? I remind them how expensive I am. I tell them that, like, hey, we can either come in and I can do some quizzing to verify that you're studying, or I'm going to read the fucking PHAC to you and we're going to talk about it as I read it to you. What do you want to pay? Oh, by the way, I'm $75 an hour for ground school. What do you want? Like, I know that seems a bit aggressive, but students usually respond to it pretty well. And the thing is, I had a student that didn't believe me, and we did one lesson where I sat and read 3 chapters of the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge directly to him. and we talked about it as I read it. He only did that once. All right, we're on the ground and safe. Keep that wing down. Like, and I even tell him, I was like, I am more than happy to spend your money on Burger King. I am more than happy to spend your money on dumb stuff. But I'm assuming you'd rather spend your money on things you enjoy than spending it on me to read a book to you. But I've read my POH like 5 times, probably going to read it a couple more times before Wednesday's check ride. Also reading the ACS. Yes, the ACS, the POH are 2 big things that I see so many students just not reading, just completely glancing over. Where's the parking stand? Where are we going? Oh, it's over there. Come on, Microsoft Flight Sim. You know, I hate those oral exam guidebooks. I absolutely hate those oral exam guidebooks because you know what it does? It tells the student, oh, these are the questions that you're going to be asked. You don't need to know anything else. And you're good to go if you know these answers. I absolutely hate those oral exam guidebooks. The information is in your POH. The information is in the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, the Aviation Weather Handbook. It's in those books. Understand that material and stop giving Jason Shepard $35 for an oral exam guidebook. But who else do I fly for? I don't really discuss who I work for because I don't want it to be misconstrued on, me speaking on behalf of that carrier. So yeah. God. Only made $7,000. We are never going to fix our airplane. Our airplane is never going to get fixed. Can I sell it and maybe buy a different one? Manage aircraft. 219. We got 14. I mean, at this point, like the plane's broken. Like, and I can't afford to repair it. So let's see if we can buy something. And then we're gonna do some short field stuff. Then we're gonna do some short field, some power on, some power off. I don't know I can't fly a helicopter yet. Uh-oh. 235. Okay, there we go. We got an airplane we can afford. Let's see if we can get something a little bit cheaper. Nope. That's it. That's what we're going to afford. Right there. Basic insurance. Deliver. You know what? We're just going to deliver it here. Purchase $205K. Okay. Awesome. Now, let's go hop into some free flight. What airplane are you training in? I forget who it was. Let's see if we can scroll back up through. Icy Kyle. What aircraft are you training in? A 172 G1000 6-pack. G1000 or 6-pack. There's a 152 Aerobat. Pipistrel. Come on, where's the 172? Oh, we're just gonna have to type it in. That's a Cub Crafter 208 172. Let's go. Configure 6-pack with 430s. All right, configure. Variant. Okay, well, where's the damn You know what? We're just going to search 172. Huh. Odd. Well, I guess we're going to fly the one with the G1000. So what airport are you training out of so we can try and make it as accurate as possible? VPC. Carterville. Enter. All right. Hopefully this airport's at least mildly accurate. Come on, Microsoft Flight Sim. Anybody got any other questions? Any? All right. Nope. Here we go. All right. Mixture, full rich. Flaps are set. All right. Flaps are set. Release the parking brake. Let the power build. Lean for max RPM. Because I'm not familiar with this area. I'm not even sure how long this runway is. All right, that looks like max RPM. Release. What the hell? All right. Apparently we've got a pretty stiff crosswind. Do we have a parallel run, or do we have a perpendicular runway? That's accurate. All right. God damn, how much wind was that? All right, let's adjust this wind because that is excessive. What did we just take off from? Runway 19. Yeah, it's showing. Oh, shit. We just stalled. Ah! Fucking 60 knot winds. This is ridiculous. All right, we'll go with 15. All right. And then the wind's coming from the south, straight down the runway. So, power on stall. Why are we doing a power on stall? Well, what we're doing is we're trying to simulate a departure stall. We're trying to pretend that there's an obstacle in front of us. So, I'm going to use my turn coordinator right there in front of me. And let's set our heading bug. That's indicated airspeed. Set our heading bug. Just right there on 180. And we'll maintain that. Okay. A lot of what you can do to kind of help with this is also try and do your maneuvers into the wind so that you're not fighting any wind. All right. Let's slow this airplane down to about 62-ish. There we go. And power on and climb and climb. Smoothly increasing that rudder as we climb. There's my first indication of a stall. Let's take it to the brake. And I dropped a wing, so let's kick my rudder to maintain that. And we've recovered. See? Let's reduce power again. We'll try it one more time. Slow it down to about 62. Full power. And pitch. Smoothly increasing rudder. First indication. Pull it to the brake. There's the brake. Kick the rudder to get the wing to straighten back out. You get it? I know it's not, probably wasn't my best performance, but it's also a simulator. I promise you did not almost get into a spin. Here, I'll show you. I'll do this as bad as possible. All right. And then we release, power idle. See how hard it is. It is really hard to spin a Cessna. It is really, 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 really hard to spin a Cessna. Sometimes you get that wing drop. What's happening? What's causing that wing drop? Let's talk about it. So you see my ailerons. All right, let's see if we can. Why is this view all fucked up? All right, let's pay attention to these ailerons while we do this. So reduce power. Smoothly kicking that 62. There's full power. And you notice I'm getting a little bit of aileron deflection trying to maintain wings level. That's because I probably don't have enough rudder in. You see that? With that aileron deflection, I'm increasing that angle of attack on that wing, right? Since I'm increasing the angle of attack on that wing, it's stalling first. So keep my ailerons neutral and really use that rudder. Use that rudder a lot. You know what? It's Microsoft Flight Sim. Let's try it one more time. Let's give it one more good try. And I'm going to do my best to just not use aileron at all. And yee! Let's try it one more time. One more time. And you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to push that aileron down a little bit and see if that helps us. Yeah, no, the sim is always going to drop that wing. So let's go show a short field landing. Let's go show a short field landing. Let's reset this because I don't know where I am in relation to the airport. So if you get that wing drop, you need more right rudder. Yes. And because what's happening is you're getting either an increased angle of attack or you're slightly uncoordinated. And that left wing is getting washed out by the fuselage. In real life, the wing drop isn't nearly that intense. A little bit of rudder fixes it. Yes, it does. I was a little blown away by how violent that was. All right. Yes, maintaining heading should be done with rudder alone. All right, flaps are up. Clear of any obstacles, accelerating to VY. Yes, the POH is the owner's manual, effectively. Pilot's operating handbook. If you don't have a POH, then you probably have an owner's manual. If you don't have an owner's manual, at the very least, then you're in an airplane that's way too fucking old. Like, or an experimental, or you might be in an experimental aircraft. So let's bring this around. Yeah, we got 9 people over here on YouTube. That is awesome. Thank y'all so much for showing up and hanging out. Even if y'all aren't even if every single one of y'all aren't chatting, it's still awesome that you're here. And I really do appreciate y'all, showing up and hanging out. So here we are right around pattern altitude. Let's maintain roughly 95 knots. So we're going to need about 2,000 RPM to do that. And I'm doing my best. I'm going to do my best to, all right. So we have well passed our aiming points. Let's reduce that power about 1600 RPM, introduce 1 notch of flaps. Looking for about 75 knots now. So maybe we're just a touch slow. Now, once we're about 45 degrees off of the downwind, once our aiming point's about 45 degrees off the downwind, we can start turning our base. We can drop 1 more notch of flaps. Now, normally I'd be able to look out the damn window and see, but I'm assuming that this is going to be roughly final. Hopefully I roll out on final. Now, oh yeah, not bad. So I'm a little high. So let's reduce some more power. Let's introduce our last notch of flaps. And we're looking for about a 65 knot final approach. So once I get this airplane trimmed out, I shouldn't really need to give much pitch input. So you see, we're at power idle and the airplane's hovering right around 65 knots. You see that? 66 knots. I am aiming for those piano keys. I want to touch down on those numbers. So I can see myself wanting to pitch to try and correct. So let's add some power, because power is the thing that's really controlling our descent rate. Let's get back on path. There we go. Aiming for those piano keys. Right about here, let's start reducing power. Pitching. And there we go. Short field. Maximum brakes, blah, 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 blah. You know, all that nonsense. Does that make sense? I'm studying for instrument written with Shepherd Air. I want to take the written before flying. Do you think that's a good approach? No, I think it's a terrible approach. I think your training should be associated with your knowledge. But I also understand that a lot of people learn that way. Studying for the writtens kind of suck. Plus, it's kind of hard to, Shepherd Air doesn't give you an endorsement to go take your written. So you're going to need to find an instructor that's willing to endorse you without teaching you, which is technically illegal. So, yeah. But do you see how that works, Icy Kyle? You see how that approach worked? I'm not paying attention to what the pappies are. Typically using the 1,000-footers and having a 50-foot obstacle at the threshold. Well, let's think of this. If I've got a 2,000-foot runway, I just ate up half of my runway. So let's go to I'm going to go to one of my favorite airports real quick. And using that method only works on paved surfaces and only works on long runways. That's kind of useless, isn't it? It only works on paved long runways. Who's ever going to use a short field approach on a paved long runway? Nobody. So let's come here. These ones are 3,000 feet of dirt. Oh, you're training in a Stearman. So yeah, no POH for you. So these are 3,000 feet of dirt, but I've got pretty tall trees at either end. To be honest, I when it comes to actual usable, I've got about 2,000 feet of actual usable runway here. So let's come from my usual side. So let's set this as our departure. Airborne, good. Flight conditions. Custom. Wind. Bring it from the east. Yeah, because we're going to be going east. Yep. All right. Escape, save, start flight. Nope, wrong slider. So we're gonna practice this on a little bit more of a realistic use case, right? The first one we're gonna do it your method, Kyle. We're just gonna maintain our slower approach speed of about 62 knots until we get to our aiming point. And then we're gonna pull the power and float, right? We're gonna try that method, and we're gonna see how long it takes us to actually come to a stop. AHARS, keep wings level. Shit. Come on, stay level. Come on. This is so stupid that you drop the airplane in the... Okay, AHARS. Wake up, AHARS. This is fucking ridiculous. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, AHARS. Wake up. There we go. All right. Now, obviously, when I'm doing this, I'm doing it in my seaplane. That's why we're like way out here over open water. Obviously, you'd never want to do this in your... Was that the airport? Obviously, stay within gliding distance of the shore when it comes to, your Cessna and whatnot. All right. Let's go direct to... Where the fuck is the nearest? There it is. None within 200 nautical miles. Great. Is that the airport we're going to? I think so, yeah. I really wish it would have dropped me in lined up. Maybe I should have just loaded on the runway. All right, so we're kind of on a left base right now. So let's go flaps 1 below 110, reduce some power. There we go. So what we're going to do, let's aim for the first bit of usable runway that we've got. All right, flaps full. Let's aim for that first bit of usable surface that we've got just above the trees. But we're going to maintain our 62 knots till we get to our aiming point. So we barely cleared those trees. And power idle, float, 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 float. Barely anything left. Barely anything left by the time we finally do come to a stop. But yes, I have heard of Track IR. I have a Tobii IR tracker. It was just making me a little nauseous earlier, and it's once you shut it down, it's hard to get it back up and going. So let's turn around and just see how much runway we used with that method. Look at all of that. All right, well, we crashed. So Now we can do it again with the other method. We crash the wing into the freaking trees. Maybe we'll come out here and we'll do a split S to get back on track. So dive for speed. Yes, I'll talk through this method. So let's dive for some speed. A little bit more. Up. Keep that power in. It's a Cessna that can't do a split S. Okay. Flaps 10 below 110. That was a much easier way to get back on path than fucking doing all that nonsense. So flaps 10 below 110, reduce power, get this plane slowing down, looking for about 16 to 1500 RPM. Below 85, flaps 25. Introduce our last notch of flaps, let the airplane slow down to our approach speed of roughly 65 knots. You can take it back to 62 if you're really worried about it. Okay. It's really important to have the plane trimmed out perfectly for this method. A little bit more trim. Now I'm a little high, so let's bring some power out. I'm aiming again for my first bit of usable surface. My first bit of usable surface is what I'm aiming for. Getting just a smidge low. Clear my trees, start reducing power. And there we go. You see how much more surface we have left? You see how much more runway we have left to us? Does that make sense? And no, this isn't real. This is Microsoft Flight Sim. You can see that we're in a simulator right now. But this is real instruction, the real training. Let's go full brakes, flaps 10. Let's actually bring them all the way up just to make sure they did get all the way up. Flaps 10. Reduce. Airspeed alive. Protecting that nose. We're up. Accelerate to VX. There's X. Climb out at X. Clear of all obstacles. Accelerate to Y and retract flaps once we see an acceleration and a climb. So, anybody got anything else that they're struggling with when it comes to their flight training? What's the main difference between the two methods? The main difference is the first method that I showed. All right, let's pause this real quick and talk through it. All right. And so the first method that I showed, what you're doing is you're maintaining a slower approach speed until you get to your aiming point and planning to float. You're planning to float, which eats up a lot of runway. If it's completely clear, right? Let's say you're landing out in the middle of the desert. There's only like 1,000 feet of like cleared flat area. Sure, you can aim real short. You can aim 1,000 feet back from the cleared area. And once you get there, pull the power and float that 1,000 feet that you need. Sure. And then touch down right where you need to be. The only problem is once you come somewhere like this, where it's not clear, where you've got water, like even if this was just a desert island, I'm not going to aim for the water and then pull power and float along. That's super dangerous. I'm going to end up in the water, right? But with the second method, what we do is we have our aiming point, and once we're at about 50 to 35 feet, depending on how much energy we've got left in the wing, depending on how much headwind, as well, I'm going to start reducing power and increasing back pressure, increasing my pitch so that the airplane will slow down, but it'll maintain its path to its intended touchdown point, to the aiming point. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That's how I do my short fields. That's how I do most of my landings, to be honest. In Microsoft, Cessnas fly like shit. They're already light control. They're already aircraft with really light controls. And then once you take away any bit of the force feedback, they end up being a little cumbersome and easy to over control. And I mean, if all you've ever flown is a Cessna, you know, if for a general aviation aircraft, and then you hop into Microsoft Flight Sim, you're like, oh, this flies like shit. But if you fly other airplanes, you're like, oh, okay, well, I see why this flies like shit, because like I have no feeling in it when there was barely any feeling in Microsoft or in a Cessna as it is. Does that make sense? Anybody got any other questions about short field, soft field, bush flying? What am I kidding? I don't do bush flying. But you can think of the appropriate short field method is a 3-point landing in a tail wheel. So let's go ahead and go. Let's end the flight, and we're gonna bring out like a cub. I'm trying to bring out something that's got at least comparable performance. Let's take a look. Okay, that's on skis. I obviously don't. I don't want the skis. Let's go find a cub. That's on skis. That's a nose gear. I guess we're gonna find we're gonna use this cub. 1 second. Oh, y'all aren't seeing what I'm looking at. So we're going to use the yellow cub, and we're going to go back to the exact same place. We're going to go back to the exact same place, set as departure. So basically you're pulling power and pitching to maintain descent. Yeah, that's kind of exactly it. That's kind of exactly it. Come on, Microsoft Flight Sim. All right, ready to fly. All right. There we go. Flaps are up. Flaps are set. Full power. Is the tail awake? Nope, the tail is not awake right now. Let's get that tail pitch back. Keep pressure on the tail. Let that tail come alive. And we're up. Let's maintain the runway. And we can climb out. You know, I don't use X-Plane because I get Microsoft Flight Sim for free. I effectively get Microsoft Flight Sim for free because it's with Game Pass. So I haven't bought anything else when it comes to the flight sims. That's it. I might have to check it out though. I don't know. How much is X-Plane 12? Isn't it like $100 still? I'm afraid I'm going to get X-Plane 12 and then I'm going to be like, oh, Microsoft Flight Sim is absolutely atrocious. I never want to fly this ever again. All right, we should be far enough away. Let's swing it back around. All right, we're on base. We should be able to introduce one notch. Slowing it down. Let's introduce another notch of flaps. Last notch of flaps. Now, this thing is in kilometers per hour. Whatever the fuck a kilometer is. Oh, thank you so much, Jet Kid. Thank you so much. Well, good luck on your flight training. I know flight attendants are, oh my God, you guys are used and abused, and it's rough. It's rough. I know I couldn't do it. So what we're going to do, let's go flight recorder, record, start recording. All right. So now we'll be able to watch this from the outside so you can see what I mean by a 3-point landing. All right. Bringing it in. Where did the term gouge come from? No idea. Ooh, little windy, little gusty. Clear of my trees, reducing power. Bringing that nose up. Stall horn's just starting to come awake. And there we go. We have touched down. Awesome. Now, open that back up. Stop recording. Let's play it. Camera, external. So that you can see what I mean by a 3-point landing. Come on. There we go. So that's where we got our little gust, our little stall horn. Barely clearing those trees. Once we're clear of those trees, power comes out. Nose starts to work its way up. And there we go. 3-point landing. That's really what you're trying to accomplish when it comes to a short field landing. Does that make sense? We can watch it again. Yeah, so I mean, your round out and your flare kind of become one piece. Like your round out is up in the approach now. So you see, there's your round out. You're using your pitch to control your descent rate now. That's what you're looking for. Let's see. We're going to try something. It might not work, but we're going to try it. And advanced options, developer mode, escape, tools, aircraft selector. Let's see, 172. Yeah, all of these are G1000. Yeah, floats, sightseeing, floats. So we'll just load that airplane. And then we'll resume. Stop. Play. Play. Ah, come on. I was hoping that would work. All right, let's head back inside then. And we'll show it again in the Cessna. Getting that nose up. There we go. Accelerate to X. There's X, clear obstacles. Clear of all obstacles, lower the nose, accelerate to Y, retract the flaps once we get fast enough. And we'll just bring it in from this side. I'm not too worried about the Not too worried about the wind. Plus, we can just get rid of the wind. Ooh, getting rid of that wind might not have been a good idea. We almost stalled. All right, so let's bring it back around. Let's drop 1 notch. Another notch. Last notch. So now we're ready for our approach once we get lined up. There we go. All right, start recording. Stop. Start recording. I don't know if that's recording. So power's idle. Coming in nice and slow over the treetops. Aiming for our first bit of usable surface. Clear the obstacles, power to idle. You know what I should have done? I should have fucking went around. I should have went around because that was not great. Let's see what that looked like. Let's see if we can replay that. Nope. Once you use the developer mode to pull a new airplane in, the flight recorder dies. But we've been at this for a couple hours. I'm actually a little pooped now, and I'm kind of hungry. So I think I'm going to call it a night. I really hope that a lot of this might have helped some of y'all practice your short field landings. It's really disappointing to see the lazy way. Remember, your short field landings are intended to be used on short fields. Aiming for just short or aiming really short of your intended touchdown point and just planning to float doesn't really accomplish the purpose of short fields. Yes, if you touch down on your point with 200 feet plus, nothing minus, technically that's a pass. But it doesn't really teach you how to take it out into the real world and really enjoy aviation. Because let's be honest, with that aim super short and plan to float wouldn't really work at a place like this. So thanks for watching. I really, again, do appreciate it. If you want to go drop a follow over on YouTube, it really does help out the channel. I get better ad revenue on YouTube. So thanks for watching. And as always, keep it cheesy.